Hello and welcome to People Online. This is the seventh video in a series of presentations on competency based HRM. The topic for today happens to be competency based performance management. We would be covering behavior based performance management. We would be looking at both performance appraisal and potential appraisal. Target audience. The target audience for this series of presentations would be 1. Students of MBHR. 2. Industry practitioners who would like to implement competency based HRM. And 3. Industry practitioners who would like to get the best out of an existing model. Contents. We would be covering performance and performance management, output based approach to performance management, behavior based approach to performance management, types of scales, and potential appraisal. Performance and performance management. Performance is delivering desired or targeted result or output. Performance is also exhibiting desirable behavior. Performance management is managing to bring about a sustained improvement in the performance of people. Now let's see what is there the bottom right hand side corner. So we have result or output in the y axis and we have behavior along the x axis. So, what we are trying to say is performance has two dimensions, one is output and the other is behavior. Output based approach to performance management. Three things create the base for output based evaluation. A. Identification of KRAs. B. Goal setting for every KRA with a clearly specified numerical target. And C. Defining performance standards for grading performance. So, if we have these three things, then it would be possible to translate output created by an individual onto a numerical measure. Behavior based approach to performance management. We can base such systems on values, traits, and a comprehensive competency model. Behavior based approach to performance management using values. Values are ideals, beliefs that stimulate us to act in a proper way. Examples could be integrity, care, compassion, honesty, respect, trust, and the list goes on. Definitions with a scale would enable the raters to evaluate. Most organizations have core values defined, so this could be a basis for assessment. This could also be ideal for employees who do not come under the ambit of the existing competency model. For example, people who are at a level lower than managers or lower than executives, lower than officers. Behavior based approach to performance management using traits. The traits that are found to be relevant for the given position are defined. A scale is provided which the rater would use to assess the performance. Now, what are traits? Traits are typically enduring characteristics that describe an individual's behavior. It is defined as an aspect of personality that is reasonably a characteristic of the person, is relatively consistent over time, and distinguishes that person in some way from other people. So, there are three categories of traits. We have cognitive abilities, intelligence, logical thinking, lateral thinking ability, etc. Personality attributes like sincerity, punctuality, and discipline. And then you have physical attributes, appearance, neatness, energy, and the list goes on. Behavior based approach to performance management using competencies. The competencies for the given position are listed. A scale is provided which the rater would use to assess the performance. The ratings obtained in each competency get averaged to obtain a composite rating. Same approach as trait. Though this practice is popular in the industry, the statistical basis can be questioned keeping in mind the ordinal nature of the scale. It is therefore recommended that an overall rating of behavior be arrived at using subjectivity. Types of scales. There are two popular scales: arbitrarily arrived at scales and custom built scales. Arbitrarily arrived at scale. These are scales where the description of the points is the same for all attributes or all competencies. The advantages of these scales are that they are easy to deploy and are inexpensive. However, the ratings can be erroneous sometimes because of inherent subjectivity in the definition of the points of the scale. Custom built scale. There are two popular custom built scales: behaviorally anchored rating scale called bars. These are vertically aligned scales used for measuring behavior. These scales are custom built to meet the specific needs of an organization. Bars add behavioral anchors to traditional rating scales, thus rendering them more potent in accurately assessing aspects of the subject's behavior. The other option is JND, just noticeable difference scale. These are a more evolved form of bars. There could even be a few negative points and a zero on the scale. These make employees aware about which behaviors to avoid. Potential appraisal. Potential appraisal is an assessment of employees to uncover capabilities that may or may not be fully utilized in the current role. These exercises determine to what extent employees are likely to meet the requirements of future job roles. Accordingly, he or she may receive training and other developmental inputs that would facilitate this career transition. Needless to say that this is over and above performance appraisal. While performance appraisal is usually annual, involving only internal people, potential appraisal would be once in 3 or 4 years and would normally involve external facilitators and resources over and above the internal ones. Objectives of potential appraisal. Potential appraisal at a broad level achieves the following objectives. Primary objectives: facilitate succession planning, facilitate career advancement by way of vertical movements. And secondary objectives would be facilitate career advancement by growing capability at the same level and facilitate career advancement by way of not vertical but lattice movements. Objectives of potential appraisal. At a micro level, potential appraisal can help in achieving the following. It can assess three kinds of potential. Let's see what they are. A. Turn potential, the ability to do the work at the next level in the next 5 years or sooner. Growth potential, the ability to do the work that is more challenging and complex, needing innovation and special expertise, but at the same level in the near future. And C, mastery potential, the ability to do the same job that is currently being done, but in a better way. How does it work? What are the factors that need to be taken into consideration for conducting potential appraisal? Role based competencies in the current job where the incumbent has got high ratings, rating against competencies needed in the next level job, rating against a broad spectrum of generic competencies, record of anything that he or she has achieved which is outside of his or her current job role, and past competency ratings and records. Who would be conducting the potential appraisal? The immediate superior may do this. It can also be jointly done by immediate superior and his boss. Psychometric tests can be administered by HRD. Similarly, incumbents can be evaluated by HRD basis his or her performance in some tasks or duties which may be individual or group. An assessment center can also be used for getting the most comprehensive and accurate results. HRD would possibly outsource this activity in the initial years and then grow in house capability to run it by and large with in house resource. Once the potential appraisal is completed, how are candidates selected? The usual practice is to consider both performance and potential scores. The scores are mapped on a performance versus potential matrix. Select those who are high on both performance and potential. There ought to be qualifying scores for both parameters to determine what is deemed high enough, making potential appraisal more effective. If the assessment is being done by the boss alone, then there is scope of bias. It is always a good idea to also involve the superior. Psychometric tests used should consistently measure aspects of personality that are pertinent or relevant. Similarly, scores for other exercises should be reliable and valid. If budgets allow, assessment centers should be used because of their accuracy. The required development plan should also be firmed up through discussion and then monitored through an agreed review process. Summary. In this presentation, we covered performance and performance management, output based approach to performance management, behavior based approach to performance management, types of scales, and potential appraisal. Thank you for watching. If you found the video to be useful, do like, share, and subscribe. Press the bell icon to stay tuned in for the next in the series of 8 videos. Our next video is Role of HRD in Setting Up a Competency Based HRM. Until then, goodbye.